Method 2. Practicing fluency. Speak in English. Developing fluency requires constant and consistent practice speaking aloud. 10. It is best if you can speak with native English speakers, but if you cannot, speak with whoever is available to you. You can even talk to yourself aloud in English. Immersing yourself fully in English is the best way to become fluent. Repeat what you hear native speakers say. Repeat sentences of native speakers, focusing on pronunciation, cadence, and rhythm. Record yourself speaking and play it back to give yourself the opportunity to evaluate whether your repetition sounds the same as the original. Remember to think about both what words the native speaker chooses and how they use the language. Use a conversation exchange website. A conversation exchange website is like a matchmaking service for language learners. The website will match you with a native English speaker who is seeking to learn your native language. Through video or audio chats, you can have conversations in each language and give each other immediate feedback and tips. This type of exchange is best when done on a regular schedule, as frequently as possible. Find someone who has a similar schedule to yours and who is similarly committed to developing fluency. Listen to other people speaking English. Particularly if you are living in an area with English speakers, listening to other people's public conversations can frequently be a good way to practice your English comprehension and fluency. Notice things such as the rhythm of their speech, cues for when one speaker is finished talking and the other begins, and how questions and answers are posed. Think in English. This may be tricky, but practicing forming thoughts in English can help you almost as much as speaking in English. Try narrating your day in English. For example, you may think to yourself, "I am walking out of my door. I see a stray cat on the street. I need to get on the correct bus and go to work now," in English rather than your native language. Method 3. Developing fluency through immersion. Travel to an English-speaking area. While a country whose primary language is English is ideal, there are English-speaking communities in other countries as well. Find such a community or country and stay there for an extended period of time. The longer you stay, the more proficient your language fluency will become. Speak only English. Even when you are unsure of exactly what to say all of the time, find a way to communicate only in English. Not giving yourself the option to fall back on your native language will help you become proficient in English more quickly and understand the system of the language more fully. Ask people to refrain from speaking other languages. If you are attempting an English immersion in a country that is not primarily English speaking, ask those around you to speak to you in English whenever possible. This can be tricky if you are attempting language immersion at home, but your family may benefit from the immersion experience as well. Try to make it a fun learning experience for everyone. Be confident. If you let go of your fear of messing up the language and focus instead on just communicating and getting to know people, you're more likely to be successful. Method 4. Avoiding common mistakes in English. Use the correct article. There are two types of articles in the English language, definite and indefinite. The is a definite article and refers to one specific thing. A and an are indefinite articles and refer to a general noun. If you are referring to any dog at all, say a dog. If you are referring to one particular dog, say the dog. Use an instead of a if the noun that follows begins with a vowel sound, as with I would like an apple or I will be there in an hour. Pay attention to prepositions. One mark of a non-native speaker is the incorrect use of prepositions, words such as on, to, in, among, and around. If you wish to speak as fluently as a native speaker, pay careful attention to how these short words are used by native speakers. Unfortunately, the rules about when to use a particular preposition are inconsistent. For example, it is common to say either "I'm waiting for the train" or "I'm waiting on the train," but you cannot always exchange "on" and "for," as with "I have a meeting on Monday." Choose the correct adjective order. Not all adjectives are treated equally in English, and native speakers tend to place adjectives in a certain order before the noun they modify. The typical arrangement is article, judgment, size, shape, age, color, nationality, material. However, it is best to limit the number of adjectives for a single noun to 2 to 3. For example, you would say "I have an old brown dog" or "I drive a rusty, box-shaped, 20-year-old American truck." Resist the thesaurus. A thesaurus can be tempting if you feel that your vocabulary is limited, but often synonyms listed in a thesaurus may relate to an alternative form of the word you are replacing. If you must use a thesaurus, be sure to look up the word you select in a quality dictionary to be sure that it is an acceptable substitute for your original word. Memorize irregular verbs. In English, the regular verbs are relatively easy to master, but the irregular verb forms are much more difficult. It is best to simply memorize these verb conjugations. Searching for lists of common irregular verbs and making lists or flashcards for yourself may help you master their forms. Please like, comment, share, subscribe our channel, and know details, click our social media link.